Good evening and welcome to Phase 2 of this week's World Championship Boxing here on ITV. Tonight it's Thomas Hearns defending his light heavyweight title against Tommy the Hitman Hearns from the city of Detroit, and indeed that's exactly where the fight is taking place. It's a mean city full of boxing tradition, but invincible? Well, certainly not. Terry Marsh proved that when he annihilated Joe Louis Manley from Detroit to take the World Light Welterweight title on Wednesday night. 1-up to us. Well, Terry's feet have hardly touched the ground since then, quite literally. Today, we whisked him off to Detroit on Concord so that he could be there, along with Jim Rosenthal at the ringside. Terry was delighted. Although there was a condition attached, he has to be back in about 24 hours from now to join the night shift at Tilbury Fire Station because he could only get a couple of days off. I don't think they believe that in the States. So Terry's made it all right, and let's hope that Thomas Hearns can gain some inspiration from his presence there. The big fight will be starting very shortly. Now, in the early hours of tomorrow morning, it's Phase 3 of our World Championship week, and possibly the last in the heavyweight unification series between Mike Tyson and James Bone Crusher Smith. Now, the times of when you can see that fight do vary, and I will let you know towards the end of the programme. Well, Jim Watt has opted for the comfort of the studio tonight. It really is a tremendous week of boxing, Jim, isn't it? Yeah, well, it's a long time since so much has been happening in one week in world boxing. Terry got us off to a tremendous start on Wednesday, and I think if Dennis goes into the ring tonight with the same attitude as Terry, we could have another cracking contest, and I don't think too many people will want to miss the Tyson-Smith thing tomorrow morning. As you say, quite a week here. Priorities, Jim. It's Andries Hearns tonight. Let's look at the career details of those two fighters. Thomas Hearns is 33, although he's lost six of his 28 fights. He's something of a late developer and hasn't lost since March 1982. Tommy Hearns, the younger of the two, it's the 12th time he's fought at World Championship level. 36 knockouts in 43 contests. His only defeats against Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler. Now, Hearns has been world champion at two weights, welterweight and light middleweight. What he wants to do is to win 4 world titles, all at different weights. Now, Jim, do you think that, you know, light heavyweight could be just a little bit too much for him or not? Well, I think that depends a lot on how he intends going about the job. If I see he's weighed in a quarter of a pound heavier than Hearns, I think in that case his plan must maybe be to try to overpower Hearns, and I think that augurs well for Dennis. It'll give him a far better chance. I thought Hearns would have been thinking more about speed, maybe building up a points lead. Did you see him here? This is against Roberto Duran at light middleweight, Jim, isn't it? Yep, and you see how trim, you see has the reflexes of a cat there, out come the punches, plenty of power. Very dangerous man at that weight. I thought he would have come in maybe around about the 12 stone mark. Look at the power there. Tremendous punch, wasn't it? Duran, I mean, that's Roberto Duran on the floor there. Tremendous power. But can he do that at light heavyweight, carrying something like an extra 15 pounds around the ring? I personally don't think he can. When a fighter's doing weight, it gives him an edge, it puts him in a bad mood, it gives him a lot of discipline. When you come in a stone overweight, you can be lethargic, you can be sluggish, both in your mind and your body. And I think there's a chance Tommy Hearns may be like that tonight, and if that's the case, Hearns has a great chance of victory. Give us a verdict, Jim, very quickly. How do you think it'll go? I still slightly fancy Hearns on points. I don't think he has the power to upset Dennis, but I expect he could. He has enough boxing ability if he can retain some of his speed at 12 stone 6 3/4. Well, as you know, Jim, as we all know, Dennis is a very private person. He's done nothing really to raise his own profile since he won the World Championship 11 months ago. But all sorts of possibilities open up if he does manage to win tonight.
Well, you know, I think from the outside of the ring, people look at my style. I think they could hit me, but I'm not a easy guy to hit. You know, especially when you're standing in front of me. You know, I'll make a nightmare for you. I'm very good at making nightmare for my opponent, for my victim.
Have you got any trace of nerves at all at coming to fight Hearns in his own city, Detroit?
Look at my hands. I'm not shaking. I'm very happy to be here. I want to beat this man up pretty bad. Thomas Hearns sounding pretty confident, doesn't he?
Well, the biggest fight of his career is just a few moments away, live from Detroit, Michigan. It's the center of America's motor industry. It's a sort of Dagenham with skyscrapers. And the venue for tonight's fight is the Cobo Hall. Familiar surroundings indeed for Tommy Hearns. The best of many top fighters to come out of Detroit since the legendary Joe Louis. So not too many friends around for Thomas Hearns, but I doubt whether that will bother him too much. Well, soaking up the atmosphere at ringside, Terry Marsh, as we've seen, the light welterweight champion of the world. I hope he's used to that by now. And Jim Rosenthal.
Elton, thank you very much indeed, and good evening from Detroit. Welcome to the Cobo Arena, 12,000 capacity, and what a task here, facing our own world champion, Thomas Hearns. 5 years older, according to the official records. That is some dispute about his age. Talk a bit more about those two weights later on. But Hearns with a reach that could threaten people in the next door state, really. And 6'1" compared to Thomas Hearns, 5'11". Hearing that Jim Watt slightly fancies Tommy Hearns, that goes along with the betting here. The 2-to-1 favourite is the challenger. But let me just endorse how cool Thomas Hearns has been throughout his stay here in the United States, in his preparation, on the day here as well, and despite the fact that he's had to travel to this arena in the back of a truck because the arrangements broke down for the first time. He and his entourage picking their way through the Detroit traffic in the back of a truck. Andries says, nothing can disturb me now. With me, Terry Marsh. Terry, your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to go with Dennis. As a rule of thumb, is they say a good big un will beat a good little un. And if you stick to that rule, you'll back more winners than you will losers. So I'm going to go with Dennis.
Right, but this good big un is up against an exceptional little un, if we can call Tommy Hearns that, at 6'1". The man in the middle there from Panama City, 65-year-old Isaac Herrera. No one has ever beaten this man in Detroit. He is chasing his third world title, and then he wants to become the only man to win 4. Now the question is, will Hearns try and bomb Thomas Hearns and take him out early? Or will he realise that Andries, a genuine light heavyweight, will be too strong for him, but possibly not as skillful? I understand you're just losing pictures, so I'll slip back into my radio days and give you a touch of the radio commentary. Centre of the ring here, Thomas Hearns snaking out that long left hand. Andries trying to be the governor earlier on, though, trying to get on that front foot. Hearns, stand-up style, looking really strong at this weight. His shoulders seem to have filled out, a lot of work on the Nautilus machine. But Andries standing toe-to-toe with him and taking a good shot downstairs there. Thomas Hearns, this unorthodox world champion who's fought his way up through the ranks to come here to Detroit and defend the title. Just above me now. No really meaningful action so far, both feeling each other out, but Andries, who's improved his jab so well, getting through with a left jab there. Hearns posing a little bit. Terry Marsh, your early thoughts?
Well, I thought Dennis had a good chance if Hearns comes out looking to bomb him out. But at the moment, Hearns is sticking to the boxing, which is the best advice I would give him.
Delighted to say that we've restored pictures to you, coming live from Detroit. Just after 5 o'clock local time. Exceptionally hot here for this time of year, 70 degrees. Thomas Hearns coming into the ring, sweating, meaning he's ready and sharp for the job, as he always does, and aiming to turn on the heat for the exceptional Thomas Hearns. It's a 12-rounder, and Andries taking the fight to Hearns. He might look a bit clumsy, he might look a bit awkward, Thomas Hearns, but those big right hands, crude though they may appear, can be mightily effective. Just ask Tony Simpson about that, or J.B. Williamson, the man he took the title from last year. And Andries certainly not overawed by this intimidating atmosphere against the local hero Hearns in the opening round. Hearns caught him there, though. I think you can expect to see Andries taking a few punches, but he prides himself on his conditioning, and he prides himself on the solidity of his chin. Coming towards the end of the first. Andries holding on. And that seemed to be a telling punch from Thomas Hearns. What's your verdict on the first, Terry?
Well, the situation was it didn't look too good for Dennis, but that was the type of thing I expected. I can't see Dennis getting into the fight until the later half of it.
Yes, don't expect any Lloyd Hunnigans here from Dennis Andries. He's a rough, tough fighter. He's got a tremendous pedigree for going the distance. He might be prepared to look a little bit silly early on against a man of Hearns' twinkling skills, but expect him to hang in there and possibly outlast Hearns later on. That weight I was talking to you about, they weighed in 8 o'clock this morning local time, 12.5 3/4 Hearns against 12.5 1/2 Andries, but Andries weighed in his underpants, and Hearns was wearing just about everything he could lay his hands on. Tracksuit bottoms. I don't know what he had on underneath them. Perhaps he did Tony Simpson and slipped a few weights in there. But my reckoning is that Hearns' real weight is probably closer to the 12 stone mark than 12 1/2. Second round then. Coming to you live from Detroit. Terry Marsh, the man alongside me, who continued this tremendous period for British boxing by winning his world title following that devastating performance from Lloyd Hunnigan. And now, can Dennis Andries, in the most hostile circumstances against one of the best fighters of modern times, make it a hat-trick? Andries, to remind you, is the champion. Hearns stepping up to light heavy to try and make a bit of boxing history. Hasn't thrown that right hand yet, Tommy Hearns, has he, Terry?
It seems like it's cocked. Seems Dennis is having problems at the moment trying to match him with the... He's holding a good punch there. There you go.
Well, he threw it there, and Andries in the second round holds on. It was cocked, it was ready. He carries a gun, does Thomas Hearns, as part of his job as a police reservist here in Detroit. And he's thrown some big bombs here. And these are desperate moments for Andries already in the second round. He's got to hold on here. He says Hearns hasn't got the armory to hurt him. Well, he's certainly finding out the hard way. But he won't back off, Andries. But Hearns picked him there with a terrific shot. He only knows one way to fight, Terry, and that's to come forward.
That's it. I thought Dennis had chances because I doubted Hearns' power as a light heavyweight, but he's already visibly actually hurt him. He's had to hold on.
Now, I think I've seen a cut on Thomas Hearns. He was badly marked up in his last fight here against the middleweight Doug DeWitt.
I think it's on his left eye.
And I think the same place he's cut. He is down the side of his left eye. What action in these first couple of rounds. Andries on the receiving end. But he's cut Thomas Hearns, and that will encourage him. And it looks a nasty one.
It forced Hearns now to try and go for an early finish, and it may be to Dennis's benefit, provided he can get through the early onslaught.
I think Hearns claiming there he was butted. The referee, Isaac Herrera, 65 years old this week, will have none of it. Now Hearns, as the crowd begin to realise that he's badly marked, tries to go to work with that left hand, and there's a fresh arrogance perhaps from Andries. Now they'll be concerned in Thomas Hearns' corner about that one, Terry.
Yeah, well, I was worried for Dennis at the beginning there. He took a good punch and he visibly wobbled him.
But he's such a calm, relaxed man, Dennis Andries. I know, Terry Marsh, you're a man with terrific temperament as well, but saw him this morning and he just looked at me and he said, no problem, man, no problem. Well, he's had problems early on, but he has cut Thomas Hearns. Bit of replay here, Terry. Yep. That was the right hand that staggered him.
That's right. He was also caught off balance, which made it look even worse. But Dennis was quick to grab there, which is an indication that he was hurt.
Coming out for the third then. And, well, they'll have worked very hard on that cut of Thomas Hearns. I think it's down the side as opposed to over the eye. First 2 rounds I made it to Hearns because of his superior ability, Terry.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's as I expected, and I imagine Hearns will pick up the next 2 or 3 rounds as well.
Well, he's picking Dennis Andries off as we thought he might, but Dennis has come here prepared for that. He's a lovely, graceful mover, is Thomas Hearns, though, and he says he's going to move up, win this title, and then drop back down again and pick up the pieces in the middleweight division and make it an unprecedented 4 titles. But that cuts open again. And Dennis, who, although he's had a very hard career, for a large part of that career was strictly an undercard fighter, strictly an opponent. He's not marked at all. It's a tough city, this one, Terry, Detroit, and it's getting pretty tough out there too.
Yeah, well, it looks like Hearns is trying to protect the eye, and he's a bit more mobile this round as opposed to the other 2. And maybe, hopefully, it'll make him work that a little bit harder, and Dennis will be able to come on top in the later stages of the fight.
Hearns picking up the points all along. A reminder, the referee does not score. There are 3 judges here who do. From 2 Puerto Ricans and 1 from Mexico. And although Dennis is rallying and is trying to rough Thomas Hearns up, so far he's got a bit of ground to make up. Dennis Andries from Hackney in North London, and Hearns clowning away a bit there. I think he's trying to confuse and bemuse Dennis Andries.
I'd put it down as stalling tactics myself.
Go on.
I think he's just trying to stall Dennis. Dennis is trying to put him under pressure, and Hearns is just looking for time and just trying to put him off.
Well, there came that right hand. He landed it, but a little bit... And another big right hand. And he's testing Andries' chin now. And so far, all that intensive training that our world champion has put in is standing in great stead. Jim Watt, back in London, how do you see it?
Well, at least Hearns is not managing to back Andries up. But Hearns is very dangerous at arm's length. He's most dangerous at arm's length. I think Dennis wants to get a little bit closer, rough him up inside, even if he loses the first few rounds, but he keeps close and makes Andries work and take a lot of the steam, make Hearns work and take a lot of the steam out of him. Maybe in the later rounds he can come on strong. But he's not going to do any good if he keeps the fight at long range.
Yes, absolutely as we thought beforehand, but we reckon here that if Andries is going to go in and rough Thomas Hearns up, it's probably going to be in the later stages of this fight. Although, as you can see, just over the eye, he has done his bit of damage so far. Fourth round. Dennis Andries up there fighting for a world title. It's really a tremendous example to any fighter who feels he's been messed around and used as an opponent, possibly made to take fights late. He's suffered all through that as Dennis Andries, fought in some very unlikely places, Newport, Barnsley, Birkenhead and Southend on his way here. And now he's standing toe-to-toe with the tremendous Thomas Hearns. And he's cut him, and he's given him a very awkward fight, and he's taking his best shots as well. And really, without being unkind to him, Dennis Andries might have had trouble filling a phone box a couple of years ago back in Britain. But supporters have travelled here and paid a lot of dollars to see him in Detroit. And you've got to hand it to him, Terry, really.
Yeah, at the moment, he's trying to match Hearns with his jab, which is a mistake. As Jim Watts said, he's got to get in close. He should be working behind his jab and then swinging that big right hand over. And that could do make Hearns' eye worse anyway.
Landed a couple of good shots there. Andries. And certainly, Andries has improved that jab with his American trainers. Hearns getting to work downstairs as he said he would. And they're going together in there, really like a couple of stags. But that's a brilliant jab from Hearns, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got a very good jab. Dennis is having lots of problems trying to get in close and get inside it.
But Terry, do you feel he's hurt him yet? Do you feel he's hurt Andries, despite the fact he's landed?
Yeah, definitely. Dennis has been hurt by him, but having said that, it was expected. He's took his shot. He's managed to come through it, and hopefully he's only going to get stronger.
From here, the eye of Hearns looks to be deteriorating. But Andries is still the man on the receiving end despite his bravery. But he's getting through with that jab in the first third of this fight. If you're just joining us, it's coming to you live from Detroit. It is for the light heavyweight champion of the world under WBC rules, and the champion Dennis Andries from Hackney in London, making his second defence against Thomas Hearns, world welterweight champion and world light middle. And with Hagler and Leonard involved in other things at middleweight, he's stepped up to light heavy to try and win a third title. Just to say that local Michigan state rules apply here, and that might be relevant with that cut, because there are doctors in both corners, and if they think the cut is bad enough, they can overrule the referee and stop the fight. But I reckon it's going to have to be a pretty bad one to stop Hearns in his hometown Detroit, because after all, the doctor has got to work here again. Just to say that Thomas Hearns, who got off on a real winning streak as a welterweight, hasn't stopped so many in his last fights. Only 4 of his last 9 have been stopped. And he got off stopping his first 17 when he burst into the professional ranks some 10 years ago. It's the 5th of 12. Dennis Andries saying his wife Odette and 9-year-old son Wesley are going to be back at home watching him in Hackney. And although he must be behind, he said he's come to war here, and he doesn't take his family to war, but he's doing us okay so far. But he's still finding a problem to get inside that massive reach and getting close.
That is the problem he's having at the moment. Every time he throws his clubbing right hand, Hearns punishes him, and this is, I think, making Dennis hold back with the right, and he's content to try and out-jab Hearns, which is an impossible task.
Do you see any signs at all of Hearns weakening?
Not at the moment, I'm afraid, and we're a third of the way through the fight. But, having said that, Dennis seems to be coming into it a little bit more, but it ain't as a result of the signs of weakening from Hearns. It's more a case of him warming up, which is true to his normal style of boxing.
A little warning from the referee for holding to Andries. He freely admits he's no Sugar Ray Leonard, as Dennis Andries, but he says his style is unorthodox but effective.
But Dennis, when he gets inside, he should make Hearns work, because he's got the weight advantage, and that should hopefully be tiring him out, and he should still feel it at the later stages. But he's allowing Hearns to tie him up and not doing enough work inside.
I think all those stinging left leads from Thomas Hearns have marked up Thomas Hearns around the left eye, and that can hardly be surprising. Huge night, though, for Andries. His chance really to grab a slice of the cake before Father Time catches up with him. By far the biggest purse he's ever received, around about £200,000. And of course, if he beats Hearns, who complains of a low blow there, and he's doing a little bit of moaning out there, a little bit of frowning and a bit of moaning, and Thomas Hearns might just like that.
That's true. Earlier on he complained about Andries' head, and now he's complained about a low blow. And I don't think it's a good sign for a fighter to complain to the referee.
Now, I suppose in football parlance, you go and play an away game, the first thing you want to do is quieten the crowd. And they're not making too much noise at the moment. 10, 11,000 people who really love Thomas Hearns, but they realise he is having a rough, tough maul out there. Back to Jim Watt once again in London.
Well, Andries' advantages obviously lie in his superior strength. He is the light heavyweight, but I don't feel up to this point that he's using his advantages. Towards the end of that round, he was getting a bit closer to Hearns, roughing him up a bit and putting pressure on him. That's what he has to do. There are a few signs there that Hearns had slowed down in that round. That may be because the fact that he's nursing a cut has maybe changed his tactics slightly. I think that the time is now that Andries must raise the pace, get closer to Hearns. He's not in so much danger up close. He can take a few chances if he gets up against Hearns and just make him work harder and drain some of the strength from him.
Well, we reckon that was probably the best round for Thomas Hearns. And if Hearns is... Sorry, Terry, if Hearns is slowing down, he's going to find it very tough in the second half of the fight.
There were some good signs there for Dennis. He got through, in fact, he jolted Hearns, I said, with a jab. And we're virtually coming into the second half of the fight, and this is where Dennis should take over if he's going to win. This round could be the turning point.
Mind you, he's got some round to make up. Because the Motor City Cobra has got him with a right hand. Oh, he's got him with a right, and that did hurt.
I don't think he's going to make it. No, I think he's beaten. He's in trouble.
Box on, says the referee. Now, can he survive this? That was a big right. He's in desperate trouble. This has got to be the end of Thomas Hearns as the world champion. Or has it? Down twice in the sixth. Trying to clear his head.
He won't survive if the ref allows it to go on. There's no way he'll survive.
Down for a third time. The 3 knockdown rule does not apply. Hearns says he's won it already. Andries, what a brave man. He's up again. Box on. He's gone though. He's surely gone badly here, Andries. But what bravery. He's going to hang on and hang on. Backed away into his own corner. Hearns pouring on the punches. The crowd on their feet. Andries, how is he staying on his feet? How's he staying up there, Andries? They're both down nearly. Not a knockdown, that one, says the referee. He's bought a bit of time, I suppose, as Andries.
Well, I don't see how Dennis can possibly survive this. And, you know, he's only going to get hurt like this.
Well, it's instinct keeping him going, but there's a world title at stake. He's holding, I suppose his corner must be hoping he's going to make it back. Hearns senses the world title at his feet, and Andries is clinging onto him round his legs now. He's bought precious seconds. Hearns, merciless, like he was against Duran. But the crowd have now been ignited. Oh, he stopped another big right hand there, has Andries. No one has ever done this to him. Only a heavyweight, David Pearce, has ever stopped him. has ever knocked him out, I should say. And he's standing up there. How has he managed to survive that, Terry Marsh?
I still think he has yet to survive it. He's only going to go into a lot more trouble.
Well, I'll tell you what. You've got to credit Dennis Andries for being able to go back to his stool. Who knows what awaits him in 45 seconds' time when they come out for the 7th. But this is where the damage really started, when we thought he was coming into the fight.
It was a beautiful punch. He done well to get up from the punch, and well, I'm surprised the ref never stopped it. And you know, I fear for Dennis at the moment.
Well, you might be right. He's going over now as the referee to have a very close look at the corner. Well, I'll tell you what, there's no way that Dennis Andries will quit on his stool, despite the battering that he's taken in that last round.
It looks as well.
They are working furiously to get him going again.
Things were looking so promising when he came out for the beginning of the 6th as well. That's the disappointing thing about it.
Right. Round 7. Can Andries possibly survive? Will Hearns just pour it on? The crowd can only see one ending. But Andries is such a strong man, but surely 4 times down from the lethal punches of Thomas Hearns. Well, is it beyond him? Another big right. I'll tell you what, Terry, he's done well to get himself together even this far, hasn't he?
He's shown tremendous courage. I have nothing but admiration for the man to come out of a situation like that.
Just in case you're wondering, the 3 knockdown rule does not apply in this fight. Quite a few world title fights, you go down 3 times, it's stopped. Not here in Michigan. Well, Andries says he's never prepared like this for a fight. 5 weeks away, monastic type training, hardly any television, running every day, working and working and working. And I would say it's that preparation that is keeping him alive at the moment. He's digging deep into those reserves, Terry.
That's very true. Also, it took a hell of a lot out of Hearns as well. He's throwing lots and lots of punches, and that's why the pace has slowed down quite dramatically with this round. I think Hearns is still trying to get his breath back as well.
Back comes Andries with a clubbing right hand. He's right above us here now, and can you believe it? He's taking the fight to Hearns. Well, they love a battler in this city. There's a big fist of Joe Louis just outside the arena here. There's an arena called the Joe Louis Arena. And Dennis Andries might be lacking in skills. He might not be a sharper puncher or as great a boxer as Thomas Hearns, but he's got a champion's heart. And Hearns, when you might have expected him in this Motor City to go down the fast lane, has definitely slowed up a little bit.
That's true. The pace is slow. I don't know if he's just looking for a textbook punch again with the right hand, a carbon copy of the last one, or whether it is because he felt the pace.
Mind you, that right hand is there. And Andries, who said before the fight, Hearns cannot hurt me, he's mad taking me on, now very definitely knows that he can. But look at Andries. Who would have expected him to be on the front foot? All right, missing, but at the state he was in the last round, to be taking the fight to Hearns is a great achievement. He survived it. Terry Marsh here thought he wouldn't. What do you think, Jim Watt?
Well, I think it's very significant that if a light middleweight had been in with Tommy Hearns tonight, he would have been carried home at this moment. But that just shows the difference boxing at light middle and boxing at light heavyweight. The problem for Dennis, he probably lost that round by 3 clear points. That's as bad as losing 3 rounds because he was on the floor so often and he did nothing himself. But the fact that he came back in the 7th round and took the fight to Hearns, maybe that will put a little bit of a dent in Hearns' confidence. But it gives him even more of an uphill task because of the point situation. But I was a little bit disappointed in Hearns. He was very erratic when he had Andries in trouble. I'm pleased, obviously, that Dennis is still in the fight, but I thought Hearns was very erratic. Any other time in the past, he would have finished him off.
So then away we go for the 8th. Now, Thomas Hearns could well have suffered a bit of a dent in confidence there. But there's a little theory here that all those right hands he's thrown, Terry, and he's a man who's suffered a lot of hand trouble in the past, Hearns, broken it on several occasions. He might have damaged that right hand, and that might be why he's not thrown it with the abandon he was.
Well, it could be. You could be right there, because it was a beautiful punch, and he has actually sat back a little bit and hid behind his jab. So, for Dennis's sake, let's hope it's correct.
And that might be a reason for his inactivity. And I'll tell you what, as you say, Dennis Andries won't mind if he can't throw too many more right hands. But Dennis, as the fight goes on, it's got to be well behind on points, Terry.
Oh, well, there's no way he could win a points decision, and at the moment, there's no way he can actually. Looks like stopping Hearns, so it looks like the title's slipping from him, unfortunately.
Well, the right hand came in there.
If there's any bravery titles, I know which man would win it.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're just joining us, welcome to Detroit. The Light Heavyweight Championship of the world is at stake. Dennis Andries, the champion in the black, having a torrid time against Thomas Hearns, down 4 times, Andries. Largely because of Hearns' right hand, and being a great credit to his game and to his own training to still be in there with Hearns. Look at that left jab going in there. I mean, that hurts to look at it, doesn't it?
It's a very, very good punch. Very accurate, very fast, very sharp.
Well, you wonder if Hearns is settling just to coast it now and pick it up on points. I'm not so sure. I think he might have something else in store for Andries, because he desperately needs to show that he is powerful and he can stop bigger men. That is to get back in the big time. Clubbing right hand from Thomas Hearns. Tactically, what can he do now, Dennis?
Just hope, really. From Hearns' point of view, I think he's decided, as you said, to probably go for a points verdict. Dennis has took his best shots and come back, and Hearns is well clear. There's no way he could lose on points. He'll probably be able to go for a points verdict.
Well, world light heavyweight champion. Is this going to be his 3rd title for Hearns? Not many men have managed that. Very select band who won the 3. Henry Armstrong in the late 30s. More recently, Emil Griffith, Alexis Arguello, Duran Benitez, people like that. A very elite club that Thomas Hearns looks set to join. And then he wants to form a little club of his own by dropping back down and winning the middleweight title. And who's to say he can't do it? Round 9 then. It's been a very, very hard fight for Dennis Andries. Coming to the Detroit, Motown, one of the toughest cities in the United States. Really, because he's still a hungry fighter. Hearns frowning there. Hearns has picked up something like $18 million, I think, from this game. Andries has still got to do his earning.
Right hand he's taken.
And Hearns is getting through again.
He put with a good right hand and also followed up with a left hook.
Big punches again. Andries, that was a slip. That was a slip, just slipped down, his feet going through the photographer's lenses almost there. No count, but it's still a very, very hard round again. Down 4 times in the 6th, Andries. And now Hearns wants to finish it here. Pouring it on again, Hearns. Big right. Andries holds on. Bravery and application goes to Andries. The class and the brutality to Hearns. But still, Andries will not go. As if to say, I'm not finished yet. Gets through with a left and gets caught again with that lethal right hand. And there's another one.
It's one-way traffic all the way.
He went on his back. He somersaults when he wins the world title. He somersaulted straight back up, and he's ready to go again. Jack-in-the-box stuff from Andries. 5 times he's been on the canvas, 5 times he's got up. Stopping another big right here. There could be a feeling that the referee should move in. He's in awful trouble now, Andries. Oh dear. Where's Kent Walton?
I think Dennis's corner should rescue him. He's got an impossible situation ahead. There's no way he's going to stop Hearns.
He's survived another one. It's a world title at stake out there. If it was one of those smaller fights that he had early in his career in a small hall, Terry would have been rescued. But I mean, if you were in that corner there, you wouldn't like to be pulled out, surely.
Yeah. You've got the manager, though, and the trainer. They've got to have your interests at heart. You're blinded by bravery, and you do get fighters that are too brave for their own good. And Dennis is one of them. And he'd lose nothing in defeat. He'd only come out with honour.
Well, he's going to come out again. He's way behind on points. There's no question about that. Only a knockout, I would think, can retain the title for him. 10th round. And Hearns must be thinking, well, what is he doing getting up off his stool? They're getting behind him now. Thomas Hearns, that is. What's this say to you about Thomas Hearns, the light heavyweight, Terry?
Well, he's showing immense power. His power is only matched by Dennis's bravery, unfortunately.
That cut. But, oh, he's got him with a left there. I thought he got him with a left hand there.
He caught him with a punch, I'm quite sure of it.
Is there a count there or what? No count. I thought he got him with a good left there.
I thought I saw a left hand, unless it was wishful thinking on my part.
Andries isn't gone yet by any means. And, well, I certainly thought the referee should have looked for a count in that one. Oh, Dennis on his back. And getting a count for that, well, that's ridiculous. Oh, dearie me. He stopped him. He stopped him now. Well, Pure exhaustion at the end of it. He went to the wrong corner. Look at the elation from Hearns. I suppose a merciful intervention, but Hearns has won a 3rd world title. He rules Detroit. Dennis Andries' world title has gone in the bravest possible circumstances. He pushed Hearns all the way. And in the end, it was all just too much for him. Sad sight, Terry, but I know you think it should have been finished a bit earlier.
Yeah, as early as the 6th, when Dennis took that disastrous right hand, I had nothing but credit. I realised the world title was at stake, but he'd lost the first 6 rounds. It didn't look like it was going to stop Hearns. If he went the distance, there's no way he was going to win on points. So I thought he still would have come out with honour.
Bitter disappointment for Dennis Andries. Absolutely committed. Couldn't have done more. But the big right hand of Thomas Hearns did the damage. And in the end, Dennis Andries' heart was just not big enough. He's another loser in Detroit. We still look at this man on my right, Terry Marsh, as a world champion, and Lloyd Hannigan as well. That's it then from Detroit. Back to London.